Welcome back to the Rouges. We talk everything Canada soccer and U.S. soccer. Tonight we're going to do a recap on the Canada women's versus Mexico game for the second game, as this was Canada's final game of the year. And as I mentioned in the U.S. video, I kind of apologize for getting this one out late, as I've been really busy with work recently. And yeah, so hopefully this is not going to be that late. I know the Canada game really just ended pretty recently compared to the U.S. women's game, so. But still, apologies in advance for getting this not immediately after as I normally would. But yeah, this was Canada's last game of the year, just like the U.S. women's national team. So, um, interesting result, another one. So, but this one was kind of bland and really left us off on a question mark. As in this one, I mean, Canada and Mexico would play scoreless, no goals in this one, and we're gonna find out why, and definitely one weak spot that I should say they can work on heading into next year. But before we do all that, let's go into the starting lineup. Christine Sinclair would play this one for Canada. Of course, she had to play. These are new. No, that's not new. Kelly and Sheridan. We know Sheridan. Um, Alicia Chapman, Kadisha Buchanan, Quinn, Dion Rose, Desiree Scott, Vanessa Giles, Nichelle Prince, Jessie Fleming, and Sura Yeka. Shura Yeka. I don't know if she played in the last one, but she is not one of the typical veterans on this one, so she is probably new. But compared to the Mexico lineup, or compared to the lineup for the last Mexico game, looks like there are more veterans in this one than there were last game when they lost 2-1. So this game is kind of seeing, I don't know if you can really see if they cleaned up anything, as this was kind of a different lineup, right? But yeah, it's really interesting to say the least. Um, and just once again, it was a 0-0 score. You know, nobody found the back of the net, but we're still gonna read out some of the interesting moments where that really stuck out to me, like sore thumb. So here, without further ado, here they are. 19th minute, Fleming sends a beautiful ball over the top to Dion Rose. Rose takes a touch past the keeper, and it's wide open. There's a wide open net. What does Rose do? She tries to pass it, but it hits the post and out. Ay, ay, ay. I mean, this was a clear-cut chance. A really clear-cut chance. It could not get any easier than this. The goal was smiling at her, and all she had to do is pass it center into the net. And she tries to pick a corner, I'm guessing. But either way, it does not. Whatever she tried to do, it didn't work. As I mean, Canada should have scored here. Rose should have scored here. This should have been 1-0 for Canada. And that was already one potential game winner. You know, and I think that's one out of the other one that we possibly had too. Um, that's when there's no excuse for missing wide open nets. I'm sorry, but anytime there's a wide open net, that needs to be buried. You don't leave chances on the table like that. But Canada should have, could have, would have, didn't score here. So and then we go to the 35th minute where Rose sends a ball across to Sinclair. Sinclair has a crack at it, but it's just well covered by the Mexican keeper and cleared away by the Mexican defense. Not really a clear-cut opportunity, but just testing the Mexican keeper to make sure she's on her toes, and yes, she's on her toes. 51st minute, Sanchez from Mexico dribbles in. She tries to have a strike from distance, and it rolls past the keeper for Canada, Sheridan. Not by much either, so this could have easily snuck into the back post if Sheridan wasn't careful. But it went a whisker wide, so Canada catches a break, but Mexico really trying to say, hey, you know, we can put up a fight here too. And there is one clear-cut chance for Mexico that maybe if she could have dribbled in even more, she probably could have had some better luck. I mean, we're talking a matter of inches here, or centimeters, so dribble in, and that could have been the back of the net. 76th minute, Jordan Heidema dribbles in and has a go, but it once again is well covered by the Mexican keeper. She's still on her toes, and she had a great game. Just outstanding, phenomenal game from her. Then in the 84th minute, basically the last chance, or last major chance out of any of the teams. Canada, here's another chance I don't get. Apologies in advance for me not knowing who this was, but a Canadian attacker was dribbling in on the keeper, 2v1, but you had Jordan Heidema on the outside as the other player that she could have passed to, but instead of passing it to Jordan Heidema, for the 2v1. She tries to take a crack at it herself, and no surprise, the keeper saves it and it's cleared away. But I don't know if Jordan Heidem would have been offsides here, but either way, I mean, this was kind of weird that she didn't pass Jordan Heidem and let Jordan Heidem tap this one in. This could have easily been another clear-cut opportunity, right? 2-on-1s are not common, and whenever you do have a 2-on-1, you got to take the most of that. You got to take the most that you can of that. Once again, it's another chance that's left on the table, and that's not good. And yeah, in the match, story of the match, Canada struggled to finish chances while Mexico continued to just hold themselves just like they did in game one. And it's an interesting way to close out the year for Canada. And one thing that we can all agree on pretty much is that they need work on is finishing. They have to finish chances. They want to continue to be a deadly team, just like they were in the Olympics in order for World Cup qualifying. And when they do qualify for Australia, they have to be even deadlier. So that's one major thing, along with others, right? And once again, as I said in the U.S. video, for the most part, there are a few young faces on this Canadian team, but it's just the chemistry's got to be better too. A lot of chance. The midfield looked pretty slow, not really threatening. Same in the Mexico 1 game. It just looked mediocre, and it just needs work going into next year. But without that, let's go into the stats. 5 shots for Mexico, while 10 for Canada. Canada got a lot of shots on here, but one of those on target. One of the 5 for Mexico were on target, while 50%, 5 out of 10 for Canada. And the keeper was just really good for Mexico today, as I said. She was saving left and right. And just credit to her, kudos to her. Canada just needs to do a better job finishing clear-cut chances and open nets. This was unacceptable. 47% possession for Mexico to 53% for Canada. 373 passes completed to 411. Canada had more passes completed. 72% pass accuracy to 75% pass accuracy. Canada had better pass accuracy. 10 fouls to 8. 1 yellow cards to 2. No red cards in this one. 3 offsides to 1. And 2 corners to 3. Interesting on paper, at least. But as I said, and I've harped on this, basically, just reading through the highlights. Chances. You got to finish chances. You can't leave clear-cut chances on the table, especially when going into the World Cup qualifiers, or even if you are going to qualify for Australia, which they will. But Mexico now showing that they can play pretty stoutly, and I don't know if that's Canada just not playing as strongly as they normally do, given how it is a friendly, or is it just Mexico just becoming stronger, just becoming more stout in this one. So either way, we're going to see in World Cup qualifying what happens, and this is going to be interesting. Is Mexico from these 2 friendlies, the end of the year, Mexico really showing up a fight and really putting it to the Canadian women's here. So this is really it was a big question mark for me, as I expected Canada not really steamroll Mexico, but at least play better than they played over the last 2 games. And they just struggled. The midfield was, the first game was sloppy, and then this one didn't look any better. As you drew, but you didn't lose. But the midfield, and now this time it's just finishing chances. So, the last game that they played against Mexico was rather a lack of offensive opportunities. Now this one is, you have offensive opportunities, but you can't put the ball in the back of the net. So, that's interesting, and that's just something that they've really got to work on going into next year. And going in, ending the year off on this game right here, this result, it says a lot, and it just really shows the amount of work and the quantity and the quality of work that's needed in order to remain top CONCACAF and top team in the world too. So, if they're gonna want to continue to be deadly, they're gonna have to finish chances, and that's really all I can take away from this game. It's just gotta bury your chances, and I said that before too, earlier in the summer. They had a similar game where they couldn't bury chances into 0-0. Here they are again, 0-0 against Mexico. There are a couple clear-cut chances, opportunities, like the open net and the 2v1. And they deal with them very poorly. And once again, I mean, especially the open netter, there is no excuse for that. Like okay, if you compare the open netter to the 2v1, I can understand butching up a 2v1, right? Like in hockey, like sometimes you have a 2v1, there's no coordination, there's lack of coordination, and you kind of miss it or miscue it. I mean, I guess something similar can happen here too in soccer, football. I can understand that, but if you have a wide open net with literally no defender that can uh, save it or anybody, you're wide open. All you have to do is just tap it into the net. I mean, Dion Rose, this was really, really, really a big opportunity missed for Canada here. And that can't happen, as I said. That can't happen going into World Cup qualifying. If you're going to want to qualify for our, if you want to beat the USA, you got to be clear. You got to be in other teams that are like Sweden and stuff. You got to be on target. You got to be on point with these chances. Can't be fumbling bags like that. You got to put away chances that are clear cut, especially open netters. So that's basically all I got to take away from this one. I mean, not much. I mean, I'm just going to keep repeating myself if I do. So just they got to finish going into next year. Please work on chances and just they've got to get better and make this midfield just go back to where they were in the Olympics. Um, However, before I go, there is an announcement that I got to talk about, and that is the England's women's team at least will be hosting a Four Nations tournament where Canada is participating in this one, and Canada's going to be playing England in February. So this will all games are in February, mid to late February. They'll actually first play England, the host team, at Riverside Stadium, and then they'll travel. Then they'll go to Carroll Road where they'll play Germany, and on 20th of February 2022, and then they'll end out with Spain at, if I'm saying that right, Molineux Stadium. So, couple traveling here, or not really traveling, but good quality opponents. England's good; they're going to give you a quality test. Germany's really going to give you a quality test as well, and Spain is going to give you a quality test. So all these are quality opponents that the Canadian women's national team are playing, which will be really, really fun and exciting to watch in February. So I'm looking forward to that Four Nations tournament, and I'm really, really excited to see what happens in that. Curious to see how this will improve the Canadian women's team here, going into the World Cup qualifiers. But other than that announcement, that pretty much does it for this video to end the year. If you like this video, make sure you like, share, subscribe. Tell all your friends about it, and tell all your friends that Canada women need some finish. They need to work on finishing for next year.